who is going to employ your kids in South Africa as a ZEP holder? Say, okay, you're forced to stay, right? Say we all stay here. South Africa is lenient and stuff. With the job scarcity, lack of, certain growth in certain sectors, investments are not pouring in the way they used to pour in. Who's going to employ these ZEP kids? Because that's very important, because if the ZEP people, majority wants to, say, be on the, restaurant gig, the Uber gig, for example, no disrespect to those people because they're actually working, Say all of us are on that gig, right? That type of work will not create employment. So on a major scale, that can actually employ people majorly and feed, because most of those hustles are more like hand to mouth, right? So it's not gonna work. So here we're talking about sustaining so that we can be balanced enough and healthy for the future generation of the Zimbabweans. Just 10 years ago, man, I was just one of them little ones. I'm walking around campus now. I'm like looking at my nieces walking around campus. I'm like, Lib, you're old. You're getting old. Of course, some will say, nah, Lib is still young. Of course, I'm young, but I'm old for the younger generation. So I have to behave. Look at life on a different level. These kids need employment soon. Who will employ them? So I spoke to one of my friends on a real note. I said, bro, you remember back in the day with Quirel? Said, nah, forget you, Lee, be crazy. And of course. But now look, bro, you're a father of 3. Right now, you're struggling to get a job, right? Or you have a job. But your job is under scrutiny right now, right? So who's going to employ your kids, man? Who's going to employ your grandkids, man? On what status are they going to be on, bro? Because whatever status, that's not what it is that they want. It's not going to be recognized. It's not going to work. True fact is, my mother's father, being from Malawi, my mother being born in Zimbabwe, in Rimuka Kadoma, to a Shona mother, my mother was a permanent resident in Zim. She became a citizen of Zim when she turned 50 years old. It's not easy to be a Zimbabwean. There's pride to be a Zimbabwean, So, me, of course, I'm a Zimbabwean citizen from birth because my father technically is a Shona man. And my mother is a Malawian descendant, they say. But at the end of the day, she was born in Zimbabwe, of course, to a Malawian father. So, if you also check, my grandfather is a chief in Malawi. So we're not just nobodies. And then he gets disowned for marrying my grandmother. My grandmother gets disowned by a Shona family. So we grow up knowing that, our uncles are rich, like super rich. But we got none of that money. Because why? Well, my grandmother married a Malawian. Facts. So I know what it feels like to be unwanted. I was born having to deal with this. I had to maneuver life and build myself to a position that I value myself. I value what I have done, the people, you know, everything, you know, my hardships, you know, my happiness, my trials, my tribulations. The path I'm on is beautiful. It don't come easy. So who employs your kids is very important, because they turn out to be what you want or what you don't want. Who educates your kids? You know, who teaches them right from wrong? You know, who employs them? That's one thing I really want to know. You know, do they have the skills? Where did they get these skills? Are these skills valuable enough to be relevant 10 years from now? Because that's when these kids need the jobs. Will they keep up? You tell me. I don't know. You tell me. Because I don't have kids that I know of. I don't play around, so I can't say, I mean, I got kids out there now. So at the end of the day, I mean, my friends, with children on the ZEP who are being scrutinized, you don't want to go to Zim, get it. Who's going to employ vazukuru vedu? Vazukuru vedu vanopiwa basa nani, vanorwana kupi? On what criteria, on what status, on what level of education, skill structure, ethical platform, resources, all of that. So then people think, Rasta wanongo taurisa, Rasta hanzi wanongo taura. In any, I want nothing from none of y'all, you know, honestly. I'm happy with my life. It's simple. I created it in a way that it suits my lifestyle, my happiness, and how I elevate and advance. But I love to reflect with y'all. I build for y'all. I inspire y'all as y'all inspire me. But as far as an angle of what I want from y'all, nothing. The only question that I had was, who's gonna employ your kids?